Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. Today, I'm sitting down with Ruth Bajimi, who is the owner of SBC Wedding and Event Management. So excited to be jumping in, having some conversation about this amazing business that Ruth has here, along with just the journey in entrepreneurship and business and all of that fun stuff that comes along with it. So, first off, Ruth, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you being here with me. Why don't we just start with a little bit of background? Tell us a little bit about what is your background, and tell us a little bit about the business.
Awesome. So my name is Ruth Bajimi. I am the lead planner and the owner of SPC Wedding and Event Management. And I started this about over a decade ago back in Nigeria when I was working with the US Embassy, helping them to facilitate lots of commercial events. So I started with corporate events. I was then working with a DMC and I had a project that was managing organizing lots of conferences in the US. So that was where the skill started from. I also used to help my friends to organize parties, weddings, and all that until someone asked me, "Hey, I'm ready to pay you. Can you do this for me?" And when I heard pay, I'm like, "Oh my God, does that sound like a business?" I thought I was doing it for fun. And then I registered my company back in Nigeria before we moved to the United States of America. When we moved, I had to spend some time to invest in myself, to educate myself, especially with the diverse wedding styles from Nigeria to Pennsylvania. And then we moved to Austin and I started seeing lots of country weddings and all that. So I had to, educate myself, develop my skill along the way to be able to serve diverse clients.
Oh, that is what an incredible journey. I love the little tidbit in there of somebody's offering to pay for it. Amazing, that's a business now. Let's get this thing going. And I'm sure that there's a ton of lessons along the way. I always like to kind of start with maybe some basic questions. So you mentioned owner, lead planner. Do you have additional people on your team that kind of help you with the process? What is kind of your role within the business? I always like to just kind of say, how many different hats do you have to wear? In business, it could be the finance hat, the operations hat, the doing of the job, the marketing, whatever, right? What areas do you currently get to play in your business?
Thank you. That's a good question. Okay, when I started the business, I was typically everything. I was the accountant, I was the designer, because I did have lots of background in. I've worked with a fashion designer before. I've been a graphic designer in my life. I've been a project manager. So all my skill in the past worked so well with my business. So I was just enjoying doing everything by myself until I found out that I was getting more clientele. And I'm like, oh my God, I can manage both. And I had to ask for help. So I am the lead planner. I am the contact person that my clients get to talk to. I explain that to them what the business is all about, what we can do to help them. I understand their vision and give them customized recommendation. I did start this business with my husband. He owns a share in the company, but I do most of the directing. Right now, we do have team members working behind the scene. We have our SEOs, we have a marketing company, we have people that help us with the social media. I also do have lots of contract staff because we just added designing and floral to our portfolio. And then I found out that I can do all that by myself. So at the beginning, when my clients or my bride hire me to style their wedding and to plan their wedding, I do have my team that comes in to help me with the setup, the tear down work. I do the florals and things that are more technical. But when it comes to planning of the wedding, most of the time I'm always on ground to assist and coordinate all the logistics.
Hmm. Is there when you look at kind of all the different areas that you've gotten to play in the business so far, and then of course some things you've gotten to hand off, that sort of thing, is there any part of the business that you just absolutely love and would never give to somebody else? And then maybe the flip side of it, is there anything still on your plate that you're like, is as soon as I can get rid of this, this is the next one to go?
Okay, so for me, even the thought of giving up planning for me, it's a nightmare. I know eventually I have to have coordinator, but this is something, you see, I don't like to jump into things. I want to be a part of it from the beginning to the end. And that's why my preferred clients are those that hire us for the full service planning, because we're
Mm.
able to see what they've done wrong or what they could do better from the beginning. Unlike someone that would say, oh, I've been planning my wedding by myself and my venue said I need a wedding coordinator and that's why I'm hiring you. Have you done this? Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, you would have done this better if I'd been involved from the beginning. So this
Mm.
is something I love to be in charge of, because the more I know about the wedding, the more confident I am to plan it and to coordinate it. And I will tell you, I always tell people the day of the wedding is actually 20% of what we're talking about. Most of the time, our brides hire us 2 years out. Right now, I'm taking in 2025 weddings. So we plan these things for 1 year, for 2 years. So the day of the wedding is just implementing a long
Mm.
planning. So for me, I would want to give as much things out, but the fact of me finding the ideal clients and helping them step by step, making myself available to their needs and being a resource to them is something I don't really want to give up.
Well, it definitely sounds like an area that's a lot of fun, and I can see a little bit of passion coming out about it. When you look at kind of who your ideal clients are, I always like to kind of frame up, if I'm in the audience and I'm watching this later on, how do I know that I'm a really good fit, or I might know somebody who's a really good fit for the services that you provide?
That's another good question, because for us, we believe so much is in attracting our ideal clients. I will tell you, planning an event or wedding, it's not an easy task. So imagine having brides, clients that have lots of stress or anxious about their wedding. We are there to actually bring down the stress, right? So we do not have to have clients that will give us more stress, right? So our ideal clients are very important to us. At SPC, our ideal clients are engaged couples that are open to diversity, that are open to creativity, and they're open to changes. We want a long-term clientele that, because some people have had clients that hired me for their wedding and they got pregnant and they hired me for their baby shower and they're having birthday and so I become the household name for celebration. When they think about celebration, they think about SPC. So long-term clients are a good one for us. Clients who value stress reduction and want, because we always say our goal is to make you feel like a guest at your own party. So we are going to do everything. So if you value stress reduction, if you enjoy other things you want to do and give this plate into our hands, these are ideal clients. We also want clients who value creativity and innovation. I try to tell my clients that once you're coming to me, I'm going to create something organic, true to you. So the first question I always ask is, who are you? What's your personality? What's important to you? What's your style? How did you meet? Let's incorporate these stories and turn it into a celebration. So for every bride, there's something unique about their wedding. So brides or clients that value creativity, innovation, they are our ideal clients. Social clubs, association, small business owners, private individuals celebrating milestone, birthday party, quinceañeras, baby showers, they are ideal clients. Engaged couples, the most one that has been getting new to us, that we're getting more often and we're loving, are destination weddings or destination
Mm.
events. So now Austin is becoming so big with destination celebration. People are coming from all over. They just want to come and have their events in Austin. So I'm getting lots of that. So for us, we want people that would rely on us, trust us to help them with the planning without seeing us. The last 3 events I had this last weekend, I never met them. They met me for the first time because most of them were not even based in Texas. So I did everything from beginning to the end, finding the venue, the caterer, and all that, the decor and all that. So those are ideal clients.
Oh man, that is so cool. And I never thought of the Austin area being a place for destination weddings. It's although that is like super cool to think that that is starting to take place as the area continues to grow. But this does lead me to an amazing topic that I love to ask questions around, and that's marketing. It's one of those areas that every business is, it's vital in every business. Doesn't mean it's always the easiest thing to be able to do, especially if the background isn't in marketing. So I like to ask some questions around it. What have you found, or what has been your philosophy to marketing? How do y'all get the word out about your services to these ideal clients?
Okay, so my background is business administration. I have 3 degrees in business administration. So I value marketing, advertising, and brand content, so I value that. And when I started my business, honestly, I tried everything, everything. I didn't take time to do my research. I was just jumping into everything. Anytime I hear, oh, we'll get you more clientele, I'm in. So we eventually, after 2 years, I started, going back to the drawing board to say, hey, what has worked for us and what has not worked for us. So we started, taking out what has not worked for us, and we started spending more money on what has worked for us. And we weren't really sorry to take that out because we're like, we want to put our money where our mouth is. So for me in the past, what I would say has been helping is digital marketing, contact marketing, social media marketing, SEOs, those are big one for us. Email marketing, that's a new one for us, and we're loving it so far. Of course, advertising, pay-per-click, that's another good one for us. And the most important that we're loving are actually referrals. So most
Mm,
of the time, our clients actually do the work for us. They spread the word out there. They give us 5-star review. They give us straight from the heart review. And people go then, hey, so by the time they hire us, they already made up their mind to hire us because they already read our review. And now I'm talking to them. I'm like, oh my God, whatever I read it correlates with what I'm hearing. She knows what she's doing, and we can trust her to help us with our wedding or with our event. So for us, I feel what has been working for us so far is the digital marketing.
I love that. How do you, so with the referrals, especially it being, a, direct way of getting, new leads and things like that, people saying, "Hey, you need to go, have some conversations here," and almost indirect being more the digital, let's get some testimonials, let's get some reviews out there, that sort of thing that's helping with that credibility. How do you foster an environment that allows your clientele to say, I have to go tell everybody about this amazing experience of working with your company?
So I've always believed in this saying that whatever you do, if you're authentic and true to your brand and know what you're doing, your passion would eventually pull you to that success, right? So from the very first time we meet our clients up until the planning process and the end, we're always true to what we say. We value our mission statement. They see us that, oh my God, she knows what she's saying. She's always available to help us. Once we call her, she's listening. She treats us like we're the only client, and we know she's so busy. So these little values, people eventually, they don't even wait for us to ask for a review. I have my event, I'm resting, I'm waking up, I'm listening. Oh, Ruth, I love you. Yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, put that in the review. That's a wonderful review. Just go say that. So they're already willing to spread the good news, about what we've done. And I mean, for us, we know this is not something that you build in a day. It's a gradual process. And one other thing that we believe so much is continuous change. We try to improve. So after the event, there's a survey we send to our clientele. What are the 3 things we did that you love? What are the 3 things we did that we could improve upon? So
Mm,
that helps us to get better by the day. Event planning requires lots of planning. Trust me, you have to be you have to know what the flow of the day is. You have to be good with the trends. You have to continually educate yourself, and you have to know what you're doing. So for people to actually entrust their wedding day $100,000 or a little bit less, it's not a joke. So they
mm.
don't just want to give it to someone that doesn't know what they're doing. So we have built this trust with time. Consistency is one big one, continuous learning is another one, and being true to our brand is another one.
Absolutely love that. When you look back at just kind of your journey over the past, decade or so. Um, and I'm sure there may have been many. So we'll try and narrow this down to maybe like one or maybe two if there's two that pop up. But looking for what are some of the biggest lessons in business that you've had to experience? We'll say maybe they're positive, maybe they weren't positive. I don't know. But is there like one or two kind of lessons that you've had to learn that kind of stand out in your mind that has allowed you to become the business owner that you are today?
Okay, so let me start with negative. So first of all, one lesson I've learned over the time is to celebrate myself. I have something that I wrote right here. I said to achieve a great success, you have to embrace failure. Fail means first attempt in learning. So the first wedding I had, oh my God, I felt like I messed up. For 3 days I was just like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? But then I realized that everybody has a story, that you can't be perfect in a day. It takes time. So that's one thing. You have to embrace the challenge. You have to understand that you can't get it right the first time. You learn from your failures. So that's one. Then another one a positive one that I've learned in my business is once you have passion for what you're doing, trust me, that passion will take you to where you don't even expect. Because when people see me, they're like, oh my God, I can't do what you're doing. It's so stressful. I'm like, I don't see it as stress. I love it. I love what I'm doing because I had to leave my day job to come into this business full time. And for me to make that decision, leaving so many things, thinking about, giving up my weekends for this business, there has to be something I love about it
Mm.
so me loving the business, I understand at the back of my mind that for me to continually be available for my clients, I have to take care of myself mentally, physically. I have to rest well. I have to take time to go for massage, for spa, during the busy season, just to be able to do what I love to do.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I'm gonna just like for anyone that's watching this, pause that, go back, rewatch that piece, re-listen to it. That is probably an I don't want to say underrated, but it's probably not talked about enough on how important it is to take a step back and make sure that you're good in order to continue to build and grow business and things like that. So I appreciate you sharing kind of your experiences here. What about for the next 3 to 5 years? As you look out and you're excited for what's upcoming in your business, you look out for this next 3 to 5 years. What's upcoming? What gets you excited about where the business is going in the next handful of years here?
Well, there's so many things we have in. I mean, I just reviewed my last 5 years, and I'm happy I were able to do everything. Now, going forward in the new year or coming years, we want to increase our online presence and our sales. But to do that, like I said from the beginning, this is something that I have to be true to myself. I can't continue to do it all by myself. So right now, we're trying to like mentors, helpers, wedding assistant to make them going forward to at least coordinate some weddings. Last year, I said lots of no's to weddings that people hired me for double days. Maybe like I've already been booked for 11/11, and someone said, I want to have my wedding. I'm like, oh my God, I have to say no because I'm already booked. And I'm like, I can't continue to say no. I have to have people to help. They can coordinate that while I do something. So going forward, we're looking forward to increase our staffing, having more help on ground, enhance our online presence, and I mean, build our clientele growth, and make sure that we get all this referral coming in. We want people to recognize our brand. And of course, I am I'm a big one on learning. I love to educate myself, to train myself back and forth. So professional development is a big one for us also.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to see that growth and everything over the next couple of years. That sounds absolutely exciting and just amazing as you look out to the future here. I know we've covered a ton of ground in the conversation so far. I want to be respectful of the time that we have here, so I've got a couple we'll call them rapid fire questions, kind of pull out some additional nuggets for the audience here. So I've got four in total. We'll go relatively top ahead answers for each one of them, best of our ability here. The first one, as you look back on kind of your entire journey so far, what would you say is kind of your key to success?
Hmm. I always say, first of all, you have to see your goals. You have to understand the obstacle. You have to clear your mind of any self doubts. Create a mental positive mindset that you could do this. Surround yourself with positive people. Embrace the challenge and show the world you could do it.
I like that. If you could give just one piece of advice for other business owners out there, what piece of advice would you give them?
Be authentic, honestly. Be true to yourself and your mission.
I like that. Uh, I always like to ask about book recommendations. Now, easy way to think about this: what's one book that you're either currently reading or have read most recently? But I will broaden it up. If you've got a book recommendation you want to give, you're you're welcome to give that as well. Otherwise, what's one book that you've currently read or are currently reading or have read most recently?
I'm laughing because I'm not the reading book person. Why? Because I'm always on the run, but I do lots of audio listening. So I spend much time in developing my skill. So anything that has to building business, growing business, you see me listening to them. I don't do much of reading. I've read a book that I've read that has really inspired me is Rich Dad Poor Dad, which I
Hmm.
my kids keep reading and all that. So I try to read something that would help me, especially where I feel I'm lacking, but most of the time I do more of podcasting, listening to stuff, but I'm always on the go. So I want to listen it while I'm driving, while I'm doing all that.
It's amazing the world we live in today where we have that ability with the number of conversations from podcasts to audiobooks and everything. That's generally how I tend to consume as well because it's you can be doing so many other things at the same time. But that's fantastic. Last rapid fire question. This one's just kind of fun. Um, when you look at your business, and you can only choose one area in the business. If you got to take a little bit of magic dust and sprinkle it over just one single area in the business, and you woke up tomorrow and it's 10 times better than it is today, where would you choose to put that magic dust?
Oh my God, to have my business running without me literally being there. Sometimes I feel like I just sleep and the business is running residual income, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That is literally our definition of a business is a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you in the business every single day. Doesn't mean you don't have to, but you get the opportunity, right? That is exciting. I love that. For those that are watching that want more information, that want to follow the amazing work that you do, that want to follow your brand and learn more about everything that y'all are up to, where can we advise them to go for a little bit more information?
So our website, and that's SPC Event MGT, SPC Event, singular MGT, and also our social media platform. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, everywhere. We're on all YouTube, everywhere. It's all SPC Event MGT, SPC Event MGT.
Beautiful. And for those that are watching, as soon as this is wrapped up, make sure you go down in the video description below. I will have all this there. Make sure you click on it. Go check it all out on LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you send Ruth a message. Say, hey, saw you on the Business Spotlight. Great stuff. Wanted to make sure that I reached out, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you take the time to go do that. But Ruth, I like to end on one final question, kind of wrap up these conversations here. And that question is this: what is most inspiring to you today?
Hmm. It is the person or the woman I'm becoming. When I look at myself yesterday and I look at myself today and I see lots of improvements, balancing everything, it gives me so much confidence of what my tomorrow will be.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Ruth, I want to say thank you again for taking the time, for allowing us to sit down and share a bit of your journey and your passion with us. It definitely comes out in this conversation. I know we could probably sit here for another 30, 40 minutes and uncover a bunch of amazing things that you've uncovered in your journey in entrepreneurship. But I appreciate you taking the time to share with us today the journey that you've gone through so far.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I do appreciate you.